So it is 5:31 p.m. and I would like to call the November 4th meeting of the Ayer Board of Health to order.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to revise the agenda, if I may.
Okay.
First of all, due to the big group here for public input, and I would like to say the public input minutes we do at the end, we have a person here from the medical center, Virginia Leonard, and she has worked all day, has to get home, and I think our public input discussion is going to be long, so I'd ask that we have Ms. Leonard first to discuss the vaping issue.
Okay, so you making a
I
motion?
made that motion to
I
amend the
second.
agenda.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, in light of that, Virginia,
Thank you.
can you please come talk to us? So just by way of introduction, I know that the board members kind of know this, but there's going to be a public vaping forum up at the medical center next Wednesday evening.
Correct.
Starts at 7, correct?
6.
6, okay, 6 o'clock. So you are you community liaison? Is that you?
So I have a sort of a mixed role, but part of my role is as community benefits manager.
Okay,
So hospitals are involved in reaching back out and giving back to the community. So we want to give back to our own community here in Ayer. And so it's a combination of providing relevant educational programs and screening programs.
fantastic.
And as part of our community benefits, certainly tobacco and related usage was on our agenda to address during this calendar year. And since vaping is such a big issue, we wanted to make sure we were reaching out to the community by having a forum on vaping. And so at this forum, Dr. Hussein, who is a pulmonologist at our hospital, will be on the forum along with Mike Enos, who is a respiratory therapist. We actually, I'll leave these here if anyone wants to look at them.
Okay.
This is part of the presentation. It's basically a number of slides indicating what exactly is happening to your lungs, because that is our focus medically, apart from just the concerns about the product itself and how we're obtaining the products, whether they are THC laced or just nicotine. But the younger you are, it's definitely very dangerous for your lungs, and that's why we're seeing the increased number of young people who are ending up in emergency departments or visiting their doctors. Part of what is happening right now is that if your physician does identify or thinks that there's something relevant to vaping, they have to report this to the Department of Public Health. And we haven't seen that many cases at our hospital, surprisingly, but I do have some colleagues over at Health Alliance Hospital, and they've been seeing cases in their emergency department. So this is a real serious situation, and I think what is of importance is to recognize that it's not just young adults, high school kids, it's the middle school children who are vaping. So if you're going to be surprised by that, you shouldn't. If you have children who are in middle school, they're probably telling you about their colleagues who are vaping on the bus or coming to parties and encouraging the other children at the party to vape with them. So, and I don't think that there is a true understanding of, again, I'm repeating myself, but just a true understanding of just how dangerous vaping is for a young person. I think because we've heard that vaping was a good alternative to smoking, somehow it's sort of trickled down to young kids, and it's very cool. And think of it that they have all these flavors, which some towns have banned, and there certainly is a goal of banning all flavored products. But what they didn't ban was menthol.
Right.
And menthol is still a flavor. So unless they ban every single flavor, and I realize it's a touchy subject because you have, you're within your own community, you have a store that their focus was on vaping products, and until a few months ago, that would have been considered appropriate. And again, I have heard people say that they were switching to vaping. And in all honesty, vaping is not something new. I mean, people have been vaping for a very long time. I just think like the Juuls and some of the other products are a little bit newer.
Yeah.
And so it might have changed what the delivery is or what the components are. So I think that's part of the difference.
And we're at 2 deaths now in Massachusetts.
Yes, but certainly more deaths across the country.
Yes.
Certainly more cases are being identified every day.
Yeah, it's really kind of surprising. This looks really very interesting because we've done a few, kind of things on public health topics. We did something on the opioid crisis that Board of Health sponsored. We recently revised our regulations in the town of Ayer for what you could sell for vapings and so forth. So this is, I think it's a needed thing. I hope that we get a really
So I know
turnout.
that, I know that the town has put this on their Facebook page, and I think CPAC has also put it on their page. So I would encourage everybody, if you have an opportunity, to join us next week. We think this is a great opportunity to work with our local community, talk about things, get some feedback from you as well in terms of what you might be encountering and how we all can work together to better address it. We certainly are planning to get into the local schools. I was in contact with the principal over at the middle school because again, we want to get into the middle schools because it's really important to be able to talk to those kids and not just the seniors. So very important.
Yeah, exactly. This looks nice. This looks like a very nice.
I don't know if anyone has any questions, but otherwise I know we have a very packed agenda. So
I learned a new term, this popcorn lung. This is.
Yes, it's not a very nice thing that happens to you after a long time.
Yeah.
Not even that long a time. And sadly, our lungs don't grow back. So once you've disrupted the airways, either you just suffer a lot because you can't really catch a breath, or you're hoping that you can find a spare set of lungs someplace that somebody wants to donate to you. So that is what really the seriousness of this that young children don't know. Yes, sir.
Popcorn lung, as a diagnosis, would imply a chemical burn. So have you been able to determine?
I think at this point, I mean, there are some, we probably should have some information and literature in terms of what are some of the proposals right now in terms of what's happening. It's just that the respiratory therapist has indicated that this is one of the things that could happen after longer term use. And so he has a picture of what, yes, the popcorn lung. Not necessarily everyone's going to have that, but if you take a look at some of the x-rays,
it's one of your possible.
It's one of the possible things that's happening. But yes, I think when they're and I don't want to just go ahead of myself, but when they've been looking at some of the causes of death, initially they thought part of it had to do with getting THC-laced products. Now it's nicotine, but there's just probably more to it in terms of what the delivery mechanism is and the oils and something that's totally different from just the old days when you smoked a cigarette.
Is there any indication that there's a propensity from the street drug iterations, the illicit iterations, versus the over-the-counter iterations of this?
Again, because they've had problems just with the nicotine products themselves, they thought it might have just been, getting something that was laced with a product and that was causing the problem. But some of the cases are just straight nicotine, just from purchasing the product. And so it's not, it's probably a multitude of different problems, not to mention just different ages in our own sensitivities to, because and let's face it, we've always heard that person who was 101 that smoked since they were 3.5 years old and is still doing fine and ate steaks every day and they're still running around and so the problem is that whole curve in terms of where you are in the curve.
And Could you please remind us about the meeting that you mentioned?
So this is a forum that is going to be next Wednesday. It's over at the hospital, up on Ayer Road, and it's at 6 o'clock, and it's in what's called our Founders Room, and we'll have some signs when people show up. So it's an open forum. It's a great opportunity to actually hear from your board of health. Pam, I think, is coming. As I said, Dr. Hussein will be there, Mike Enos, and so it'll be a very good representation to ask questions, and listening to some of these questions will make sure we have some articles at least that we can share as well.
Virginia, I have a question. Maybe you don't want to answer, but menthol has been involved in cigarettes for so long. How do you even tackle?
Menthol is a real issue because amazingly, you can get addicted to the menthol. And that's why people smoke menthol cigarettes, because it's bad. There's something about that menthol. There's been issues in terms of the African American population getting more addicted to the cigarettes because of the menthol.
That's what I smoke.
Yes, and there's and again, I don't know what it is about menthol that makes them more addictive than plain cigarettes.
Yes.
But there's something about menthol, and menthol is in the vaping products as well. So just taking away the bubblegum flavor doesn't change the basis of what these products are. And also just changing from cigarettes to another menthol product is not really going to be an improvement over, So, and you probably have, and it's interesting because it's I think now that we're actually, from a community benefits approach and community health approach, are looking more at some of the basic things that have gone on that have impacted why we do some of the things that we're doing. It's a bit concerning when you realize that marketing and these other products, marketing approaches have led us to do some of the things that we're doing, which are not particularly healthy.
Yes.
Right.
Because they sound really good, but they're not healthy, so sad.
So is this on our page? Is this on our, not the...
The form itself.
The handout?
Yeah.
No, I don't have.
We just got
that.
this
Oh, you just got
tonight,
okay.
so if there's anything that you would like us to, we do links through the Board of Health page on the Town of Ayer website.
So I can send you a copy of the, I think, I might have sent you a copy of the flyer, but I'll send you another copy.
I think the flyer that we have
Yeah.
posted, right?
As long as the
Yeah.
flyer is there, because we had
Yeah.
a problem with the first flyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
But-
got fixed and posted.
I hope you'll all come. We have standing room only. We'll be very excited. So we'll find chairs. We'll find chairs for everybody. So
Well, thank you very much for pulling this together. Thank you. That's a good thing. Yes, absolutely.
hope we can get you off this little
Very hard.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we are going to do the public input. So, Cindy Lavin had asked to present some information to us, so I'd like you to come up.
Thank you. I have about probably 4 minutes worth of stuff to just read so that I don't get off track. Okay. And then I've got a handout for you all.
Okay.
So good evening, and thank you very much for allowing me to address you. I'm a mom with a crock pot and a roasting pan full of lasagna. And I've been sharing the same food that I feed my family with some of the food insecure, hungry, and lonely, and homeless people in this town. I cooked the food at home, and I gathered up the donations of bread and desserts from Shop and Save, our local. And I put together a meal on Friday nights at the Apple Valley Baptist Church, right back here. This is at zero cost to any of our guests ever, or to our town budget. At least I was doing that until the dinner was closed down in the spring. Until they were closed, these gatherings that were occurring at Apple Valley Baptist for over 20 years without a single person ever getting sick from the food. I'm a member of another church, and I did not want to reinvent the wheel, so I partnered with Pastor Stephen Wells, and I've personally been cooking for them for 6 years on Friday nights. And I have to emphasize again, we are serving the same food that we serve to our families. Discouraged by being told by the Neshoba Board of Health that they would need to put in an extremely expensive commercial kitchen to continue hosting these meals, the board of Apple Valley Baptist decided to close down a 20-plus-year-old ministry. So now, Mom with a crock pot wants to change the format and hold the Friday night potlucks at my own church, Living Water Fellowship, which is out in the Devon's Crest neighborhood, for the people in my church family and for anyone else who is in need of a hot, nutritious meal. Anyone is welcome, not just homeless. We have food insecure, lonely, homeless people in this town who have a lot of challenges, and our church and no church can solve all of the problems. But we can at least see that they get one regular hot meal, some fellowship with us, and a small bag of canned goods to take home to get them through the weekend until Loaves and Fishes opens the following week. I have tried and tried to comply with the Neshoba Board of Health. I have received the nationally recognized certifications in food management and allergens, and I was told that once I got my ServSafe certifications, I would be able to cook and host meals if I could find a commercial kitchen. The problem, not one church in all of Ayer has a certified commercial kitchen, and our restaurants have way too much liability to share their kitchen with an outsider. Nor, as I started looking into it, should a church even need to have a commercial kitchen to hold potlucks, according to Mass General laws. Short of having a commercial kitchen, I was told to serve nothing but individually prepackaged canned goods, which are not exactly something that you can gather around a table and enjoy together. Or I could serve catered food, which is the most expensive way to buy food. I'm not even allowed to buy food from a local institution like Tiny's Restaurant. They're not allowed to pack up food for me to pick up, nor can they deliver it to me because they don't have a catering license. My home cooked food is actually much more nutritious than most catered food. No offense to any restaurant, I'm sorry, Tracy. But they cook for taste. And I cook for both taste and for nutrition. I like to hide carrots in my meatloaf, just like you would for your children. Are any of my people here? Don't tell them. Anyway, I named the ministry Stone Soup Kitchen, and it's now run exclusively through my own church. Stone Soup, as many of you might know, is the name of a famous children's story about the original potluck. And it's a story that exists all over the world. In my favorite version, a hungry traveler appears in a village with nothing but an empty cooking pot, a spoon, and his appetite. When the suspicious villagers will not show him any hospitality, he sets up his cooking pot in the village square and begins to boil water with a simple stone in it. As the curious townsfolk pass by and ask him what he's doing, he stirs the pot and tells them he's making stone soup. Further, he explains that at the end of the day, when the soup is ready, everyone will be welcome to come and share it with him. Well, eventually one person ventures that the soup might taste better with a few onions, and soon the villagers are each bringing a couple of carrots, a potato, a little salt, whatever they happen to have on hand to add to the stone soup. At the end of the day, the whole town shares a delicious pot of soup, minus the stone, of course, and they have also learned a valuable lesson about the joys of sharing. Well, our wonderful town of Ayer has experienced this joy as well. The outpouring of love and support that I've received, donations through my church to help to offset the tripled food costs that I incurred, or rather my husband incurred, gifts of everything from paper goods to bottles of Ensure. This has been truly overwhelming to me personally, and it has really lifted the spirits of the lonely, hurting, and homeless people that I love and who are always invited to our potlucks. But I'm sorry, serving packaged canned goods or even catered food does not equal a home-cooked potluck supper. The Neshoba Board of Health is still claiming jurisdiction over our meals because of the name of my ministry, Stone Soup Kitchen. My Facebook page refers to the story of Stone Soup, not to a governmental regulated entity called a soup kitchen. I probably made a mistake in putting that word in there. My contention is that with the new format of the meals we'll be holding at our church, they are potlucks, as is clear from the state definitions and the side-by-side comparisons with our monthly Sunday potlucks, which I will show you shortly. Some of our neighbors in this town are being unfairly penalized because in my ignorance, I chose a name for my ministry that has the word soup and kitchen in it. I confess that when I started, I didn't know that there was a legal distinction between potlucks and soup kitchens. But I've made it my business to correct this, and what our plan is to hold true potlucks at Living Water Fellowship with proper potluck format, no matter what the situation has been in the past in the different location. There's no difference at all, as you'll see in the handout, except for size, between the potlucks that we hold monthly on Sunday and those that are now being held weekly on Fridays, except that I am being prevented from serving true potluck food on Fridays. Anyone and everyone who wants to share a meal is welcome at all of them, Sunday or Friday. Whether you're housed, homeless, hungry, full, lonely, happy, our church loves and shares with all. There are also side benefits to the town of Ayer for allowing us to fulfill the church's mandate to invite the hungry to our potlucks. If we can help our guests be healthier, the fire chief may very possibly be able to spend less time and money on medical transports, some due to people eating out of trash cans and dumpsters. The police chief, I would hope his job may also possibly be made easier if having a full belly reduces some people's behavioral problems, and if there's a place that he knows that he can send people for material help. And some of our police officers in town have done just this, sent them to us. So at zero cost to the town, in conclusion, our church is making Ayer a better place by holding our Friday night potlucks. Along with our clothing pantry and our emergency canned good pantry, we are doing what we can to fulfill the mission of the church to love and serve all. I have received, as I said before, the nationally recognized certification from ServSafe in food management and allergens, and I oversee all the dinners that are held at Living Water Fellowship. My pastor, who is in the back there, also has food service and management experience. Further, I appreciate that Bridget Braley is available to answer any questions that may arise concerning food safety in an advisory capacity. At Living Water Fellowship, we believe that we, along with every other church in this town, are completely within our rights to hold our church potlucks, complete with home-cooked food, with no further regulation by the Neshoba Board of Health or by any other state or local board as set forth in the Mass General Laws. And we ask the Ayer Board of Health to agree with this. I know that you will not be discussing and coming to a conclusion tonight, so I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you to my friends for coming. Thanks and glory to God for his love for all of us. And if I can just pass out these, and people can take them and go home. Total, so if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Take this one back.
Oh, if you need. Oh, all right. Physically pass them out. Just a couple of things, if I could just highlight them on here. The first item on the first page is an advisory that was sent out by the Department of Public Health to all local boards, to advise them about what potlucks are and exactly what and I'm sure you guys received that.
Yes.
So that was in 2014, and the rules for a potluck are listed there. People must be gathered to share food, no compensation. It can be held basically by any group that wants to. I'm talking about churches, but civic organizations have the right as well. They cannot be commercial, although donations can be given, and We have to have signs on the walls, which we have, that neither the food nor the facilities have been inspected. So the actual law is the second half of the first page. And the important part here to me is halfway down, notwithstanding, and I put that in spite of, because I had to look up what notwithstanding meant. In spite of any general or special law to the contrary, neither the Department of Public Health nor any local board of health shall regulate the serving of food that is brought to a potluck event sponsored by a group of individuals or by a religious, charitable, or nonprofit organization, by individuals attending the potluck event for consumption at the potluck event. Potluck food at a potluck, eaten at a potluck, not taken home, okay? Individuals who are not members of the group or organization sponsoring the potluck may attend the potluck event and consume food at the event. The second page is simply a comparison. This is just for my specific church. Other churches may do this slightly differently, but the preparation process that we go through for a Sunday afternoon fellowship potluck after the service is listed there, and then the preparation process for Friday night potluck, which I am proposing, is listed second, and you'll see that they are exactly the same, with the exception that the Friday night ones are a little smaller. Now, when I say smaller, we're a church of about 15, so even our big events are not very big except for Thanksgiving. So, do you have questions, or is that, you want to hold that for another time?
I don't have any questions for you. I don't have any questions about the content of this, but there's just a couple of things that I wanted to clarify. So
Sure.
your intent is to continue with the monthly Sundays at the church, and then this is going to be an addition of a Friday.
Yes.
A Friday night,
Yes.
and
Now,
every Friday.
Anybody and everybody is invited to our Sunday ones, but sometimes people don't want to have to sit through a 5-hour sermon.
Yeah. Do they really go on that long?
No, but he's back there, and I thought I'd ping him a little bit. He'll get me back later. So, the Friday night ones are weekly, and like I said, the format has changed. It's true potluck format where people come in, they are able to get what they want, not just, handed a tray type of deal.
Okay. So one comment that I have for you is, don't feel that the name that you chose is what got you in trouble, or you're not in trouble. It's not the name that's the issue, and that has no bearing on me whatsoever. You can call it dinner at the Ritz, if you will. You can call it anything. It's not a name.
Yeah, Ritz might go after me, but.
Well, that's your own problem. But it's not the name of the thing. It's how it fits in with the rules and the regulations and the carve-outs, as you've pointed out to us here. I know that Bridget has had several discussions with you, and I just wanted to make sure that, and really for everybody in the room to understand the difference between the Ayer Board of Health and Neshoba Associated. So we're the elected board, and we have to adopt regulations for within the town, and then we have to observe the regulations that are set at the state level, statutes and regulations. But none of us, we have a diverse background, but none of us are what are called, registered sanitarians or food specialists.
Sanitation officer.
Exactly. So that's where Neshoba comes in. Neshoba offers services at a cost. Ayer Board of Health pays for this. They cover 16 or 17? 16? Towns, all in this area. And they're the professionals. So they're the people that can go into, let's take it out of this situation with food service and say, you're living in an apartment, you have no running water. you're welcome to call Board of Health, and you should if you're in that situation, because that is against the Massachusetts Housing Code. So someone like Bridget happens to be assigned to our town, goes out and inspects and verifies, there's no running water. So she gets a notice off immediately to the landlord, this has to be corrected, she knows the laws on how many days, which violations fall into which categories. So Bridget and the others at Neshoba, they act as a paid agent of the Ayer Board of Health, but they don't determine the regulations, they enforce the regulations that are already out there, whether they be town Board of Health regulations or state health regulations. So I know that you've had a long journey here with this, and you may feel a little frustrated because you're probably thinking, I've been talking to the Board of Health for 5 months now, but you actually haven't.
No.
Yeah.
I've been talking to that one.
Right. You've been talking
She referred me
to our
you.
agent.
She
Yes.
referred me to you.
Okay.
She's like, I'm tired of dealing with you, go to them.
I'm glad that Pam's clarifying that to everybody that came. I think it's wonderful. It's great. You have all the support in the community.
Clearly.
We are not the bad guys here. And that is what, and no, and you never said that, but I've been looking at social media and it was like, we're going to the Board of Health. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, here we go. We are not that governing body. And I just wanted that to be clarified.
Can you just clarify that? Because I'm now really confused. Because on one hand, you're saying the Neshoba Board of Health is responsible for enforcing the laws. On the other hand, you're saying that they are paid by you as your agents.
That's right.
So I'm a little confused over who has the ultimate authority to allow or not allow.
So for many things, that ultimate authority is held at the state level. So they issue minimum state regulations for food sanitation, for housing, for septic systems, for a whole bunch of things.
Okay, could we just focus on the food part, because I get easily confused.
Bridget, when I say she, Bridget or someone.
From Neshoba.
Yeah, at Neshoba. She has the experience and the professional training and qualifications to know how to inspect a food establishment.
Okay.
So she knows when it says there has to be a certain kind of sink or certain temperature, she knows what that means and she can interpret it.
Okay.
She gives her reports to us. Now she can cite violations of the state code because she's empowered to do that through us.
Okay.
But it's ultimately, there's the state level, and then there are some regulations that we as a Board of Health in town have that, maybe, we can't be looser than the state. We can, in some cases, be a little more restrictive, which is one of the things we're thinking of doing with body art, not that that has anything to do with this. But it's ultimately this board that is enforcing it. We're relying on them to be our boots on the ground and the people that understand the regulations and the people that know how to do the inspections.
If I may add one thing to that, I said it to you, but I've not said it publicly. The problem with that is that Bridget has never been to our church. She has never seen our setup. I'm not even sure that she ever was in Apple Valley. She was relying entirely on reports that were phoned in.
Yeah, and to some degree, I really want you to come back. I want you to come back when.
Without my entourage.
No, you're welcome to bring anyone, because I think it's a fantastic thing that you have this much support.
But I just have to, so why are we, so you have the ultimate authority on whether they can have a potluck?
Well, the issue, at the height of the issue.
Just a yes or no. Do you have the?
No, the state does.
Okay, so when you say
But
we're
she
coming
meets
back,
the
what
requirements of the state.
Right.
So why is there an issue?
where would we?
There is, and this is, there's an interpretation issue, because when you read this definition of a potluck and what's called the potluck exemption. It does talk about that neither the Department of Public Health nor any local board shall regulate the serving of food that is brought to a potluck event sponsored by a group by individuals attending the potluck for consumption at the potluck event. In preparation for tonight, I did a lot of searching on what is the definition of a potluck. And the issue that we keep coming back to here, at least on Bridget's side, I'm not rendering any opinion from the Air Board of Health tonight. I'm just telling you what the issue is to date. That Neshoba, and so far the state, interprets this to mean that the people attending the potluck are bringing the food. Not one person or two people or three people, but it's the old, everybody brings a covered dish.
Yeah,
That's a potluck.
I mean, that's kind of a common understanding of it, but you go to any church today, you know that there is a handful of people that bring all the food and the other people come and eat.
Yeah, my 10-year-old's not bringing a dish to a potluck.
Yep. I know exactly, I believe.
Can I just say one thing, please?
Sure,
Right.
of course.
I live in town, I was born and raised in Shirley, I immigrated real far, I came to Ayer, right?
Congratulations.
67 years. You have people on your board that are in the same age group that I have. From what I've known that Cindy has provided, unfortunately, people that she has fed across the street here have passed away. Right? They live out there in Grove Pond.
I know.
Right? They live in boxcars. They live down by Canes. We went to school with them. We graduated with them. She provides a service that nobody else wants to do. Right? And
Absolutely.
she's reached out to these people
Yep.
and she has not judged. Right? She's made sure that they've been fed. Right? That they've been taken care of. Right? This seems like such a rehash. You know, you're turning around, and I read what you said, and I apologize,
Yeah.
right? You said that, you know, brought to, right? She is creating, if I understand correctly, she's creating 90% of the food in her facility, right? Some people are bringing desserts. You know what, I went to my grandmother's, right? I brought
Yeah,
dessert, right? We're
absolutely.
gonna shut her down, right? You know,
Yep.
this just, I've watched it, it's been carried on for so long, whether it's been the Neshoba Board of Health, whether it's been the local Board of Health, and I apologize, I'm not,
But Bill, it's not, and you're not gonna get any pushback from us because
Yeah.
we totally agree.
exactly, and I'm loud. I'm loud by nature, so I
It's
apologize.
okay, me too, I don't mind.
We feel the exact
You
same
totally
way.
agree, then agree.
Yeah.
Why are you pushing off a decision? You can't sit there and say, we totally
We
agree,
are
but we're
not
not
the
making a
decision
decision.
makers.
We're not
We are citing the
decision
law.
makers.
That's why I was afraid this would happen with this, you
Yeah.
know, tension.
And I guess the bottom line is, right, obviously the people here are in support of Cindy and
Absolutely.
her mission and what she's doing. She's taking care of people that other people in town don't want to, right?
I know that.
Unfortunately,
I know that.
other people that have passed away, that, you know,
Yeah.
Trish, right, that we grew up with. we
I
went to
grew up
school
here
with.
too.
Yeah,
I know
and-
what you're trying to say.
You know, so, I guess, you know, in closing, right, being the big mouth and loud guy, right, you know, I've been here all my life, right, I support everything that she's doing,
Yeah.
because she's doing what nobody else wants to do.
Doing the right thing,
I agree with you.
yes.
I agree. None of the decision-making that happens here is going to be based on whether you are doing a good or a bad thing. That
I
is a
understand that.
given. I'll give you that right off the bat. What you're doing is a wonderful thing.
So I'll be the guy who wants to get to the point of what is probative to what the interpretation wiggle room may
Yep.
be. You mentioned that what you have in mind for potluck is everybody brings a covered dish and they all eat it together.
Yeah.
I can tell you, 99% of the potlucks I've ever been to, I didn't bring anything, but I still ate, and it was not shut down by the Board of Health.
I know that. I know that. And I know that
And
there
I've never been
are,
homeless,
potlucks that are
so
held.
I'm one of the lucky ones,
Right, true.
to be able to just waltz in and eat for free
Yeah, exactly.
at those potlucks.
Exactly.
I would suggest that the state law is very clear with a series of tests to apply to a situation like this to define a potluck. I'm troubled by the board's attempts to draw on extrinsic evidence through your own research to apply additional overlays or conditions that you believe are applicable or may not be applicable. But I'm curious if there's any mechanism for enforcement there. Say, if 10 of us in this room showed up on Friday night with covered dishes, would that then satisfy the board? Would that be written into an additional regulation?
Hell no, I need
Well,
it.
Would
I need it.
the state laws be amended?
I would probably join you.
We have the Mass General laws so that we have clarity in situations like this, and I'm very troubled by the fact that the board would be looking for additional evidence beyond the law to apply to this situation.
My extrinsic research is not going to carry the
Especially
day
where,
on this.
may I finish? Especially where
Of
it
course.
seems that the regulation actions that have taken place thus far are plainly on their face in violation of this state law, because the law provides that a public event like this should not be regulated by a local board of health or at the state level.
Unfortunately, that's not the information that we're getting back from the
who?
state.
So at a federal level, there is the Bill Emerson Food Donation Act at a federal level that takes care of the donation of food for insecure people. Why aren't we looking at a federal level? Why are we checking?
I don't think anyone's arguing about the donation of food.
But that's also for the delivery of it. If we
So-
look at that, I would like to see this group, instead of nitpicking a potluck, look and see what the government is saying at a federal level can be donated and given to people, no matter where it's cooked from. It's not part of
The
the federal
first-
level even.
The first realm we have to satisfy is the state before we can start invoking.
How is the
federal
state not
funds.
satisfied by potluck? I guess I'm really confused. I'm not trying to like attack people. I'm just
Yep.
really confused. I go to a
It is
church.
the definition
we have
of,
potlucks.
it's the definition of potluck.
Okay.
Now, there are also some, there is some information on the websites of other towns that talk about, in Massachusetts, that are governed by the same law, that talk about guidelines for potluck meals and bake sales.
So is it a percentage? We have to have a certain percentage of people who are attending the
No,
potluck?
I am only bringing this up to point out that this is not a cut and dried issue that you can apply one definition to. You go from one town to another town, you may get a different interpretation. That's why it's the state that ultimately makes the decision. In the town of
The
Wayland,
state made the decision. We've read the definition, so I'm asking,
the state has made the definition, has made the decision,
so
as
what
handed
is-
down through Neshoba,
I'm-
that you cannot do this.
Can
So,
you explain that?
no,
Excuse me, I've been standing for a while. Can I make a comment? I'm a new resident of Ayer. I've been here a year.
yes.
I'm also a lawyer. State statutes are not subject to all these interpretations. I have a suggestion here. It sounds like you're going to be sending Cindy back to Neshoba. You support this. Neshoba is interpreting this one way. She has a lot of support, and I disagree with the subjective nature of this regulation. It's quite clear. You should work with Neshoba to find a solution for Cindy. Cindy
I
should
have
not be running
worked.
in circles.
I have actually spent quite a bit of time
Well,
with
you
Neshoba
support
on
it,
this.
and you're ultimately the decision makers here. So these subjective decisions that other towns may have made or not have made are really irrelevant. You have the ability to decide whether this statute applies to Cindy.
So if you're an
Neshoba can
attorney, I'm
advise
sure you understand the concept of precedent.
I do, but I haven't heard about any precedent other than certain towns do this and that, which suggests to me that there is no firm guideline here. They're interpreting the statute differently. You can interpret the statute as you see appropriate with Neshoba's input. And I think that based upon the support she's getting and the fact that she's gone through, she's shown you the statute, she's shown you, and you know what the statute says. So it's your interpretation based upon the advice of Neshoba. It's not Neshoba making this decision. And the
That's
state
correct.
is not going to come in and crack down because you, in their opinion, violated the statute. So I think you should work with Neshoba, find a solution for her, and let's not drag this out indefinitely.
What is the time frame on getting
getting an answer with the cold weather coming. Obviously, this service is needed more now
Absolutely.
than ever. So what's the time frame
Well,
we're looking
my
at?
suggestion was to schedule a time when you can be on the agenda and we can have someone from Neshoba attend. Because we need,
But why not?
that was not this evening because Bridget could not attend and it was too late for her to revise those plans. Bridget works 9 to 5 like the rest of us. And we have to accommodate her plans.
So I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this part. So if Neshoba works for you,
Right, you could make.
why would we need a representative from Neshoba
Because
as
we
opposed to
both-
a representative of this state?
We both work for the state to interpret the state
So
laws. The
if-
state does not send someone out to every little town when there's a little disagreement
Okay, so
about
can I
something in
ask
their
this then?
regulations.
If you as a board, the Board of Health of Ayer, support Cindy, why can you?
I don't
let me finish.
know.
Let me finish. Why can't you say we support you, this is a potluck, and then let the state come in and complain if there's a complaint? I don't understand the
Because
process.
that's not doing our job. Our job is to protect, our job, keep this in mind, when we support wholeheartedly what you're doing to feed the hungry. However, when we were sworn into office, we also had to swear to uphold the state's regulations. for
I
public
understand
health.
that. We've read the
This
state
board's-
potluck.
Excuse me, this board's number one consideration is the protection of public health. It is not, and I don't mean to sound cold, feeding the homeless.
So you
That-
think it's a
so we
better
have to
way to
have-
protect public health by
Excuse
letting?
me, I let you speak. There has to be an overriding principle or purpose that you're striving towards. That's what it is for us as a board. It's protection of public health. So we have to think about not just your ministry, we have to think about impacts that could have on other situations here in town. So it's not a snap decision.
But how long is the decision? Because some of us.
This is your first night here. This is the first discussion we've had about
It's been
it.
going on since spring. It's been going on 6 months.
Has anyone been here since the spring?
Can I just ask one
No,
question?
no, I'd actually like to hear an answer to that. Has anyone
Has Bridget been to the
communicated
church?
with the board?
Has Bridget been to the church?
No.
Can anyone answer my question? Has anyone here, we have public input at the beginning of every single meeting. Has anyone been here since the spring?
I guess we
No.
didn't think that it was gonna get to this level.
Right.
So
Right.
again, what is the
Plain
time
and
frame now
simple,
that
it
we
wasn't
are?
gonna get to this level. But I have one question. You, as a town board, have access, like all the other town boards, to legal counsel.
Yep.
Have you turned around and consulted with legal counsel? Because I'm a taxpayer, and I'll pay whatever you gotta pay the legal counsel to give an opinion.
I have not consulted with council because
Well,
tonight,
then I rest my case.
tonight is the first night we are hearing the extent of this.
Well,
I mean, really, you want us to work with you, work with us.
Well, can I just ask a question? Has this issue been before the board? Is this the first time?
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
It is.
Yes.
So it was always before the Neshoba
Over
board out.
there, Bill.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
where it was.
Absolutely.
Then I apologize. I give you breathing room, right? But I think in the interest of time, and somebody said here, that we're coming into a time of cold weather.
I understand that.
And, you know, people dumpster diving, right?
Yep.
This is not a good time.
We agree.
I know.
We
I
need
know
to
that.
turn around and address it as quickly as possible. And again, I'll pay. I'll pay for
Our
what the
next-
legal fees are.
Our next meeting is 2 weeks. You can be on the agenda.
As a point of order, I have a question about your process.
Yes.
So, I'm a certified safety professional, so I'm more familiar with OSHA citations.
Okay?
So if I were an OSHA inspector and I got a call, just a complaint from an employee saying that, oh man, this place is a death trap, I would not be able to shut the business down without even inspecting it, let alone issue a citation. So what is the process that the inspectors are supposed to follow to enforce the code?
To ensure that, for one thing, an establishment serving food to the public has a commercial kitchen.
What's the difference? It's not made there.
They're giving it away. They're not paying for it. They're giving it away.
You can't make people sick for free. It doesn't make you any less
They come in for free. They come in for
The
free.
issue is,
Yeah,
the
I just
issue
wanted
is
to have
that,
another meeting to go to. Thank you very much for your patience.
thank you.
the issue is that
I'm sorry, let's finish with you. Hold it down, please.
having a commercial kitchen is not salient to this discussion. So what other evidence was collected by the inspector before issuing this citation? Other than
There is
determining
no-
remotely that there was no commission.
I'm not aware that any citation has been issued.
So,
Have you been issued a
I-
citation?
Forgive me for the nomenclature
No, it was a
error.
cease and desist, I think.
What, the cease and desist?
I
order.
think so.
So, the thing that she got on paper that told her to stop, what was the process, what are the requirements
That-
between?
The requirement that was predicated upon was the requirement for the serve safe and allergy, which you got, and the commercial kitchen.
No,
that was the
I'm asking
sticking
a
point.
different question
That's
entirely.
originally.
Right.
For any inspector to get a complaint, then issue a citation, there has to be some sort of requirement, some sort of process to get from A to B.
I'm trying
So-
to, the explanation for that is that in order to offer food to the public.
No, that's not the question I'm asking. This is a broader, higher level question. Do you have any written document that I could read
You
saying
can
this
read-
is the process that our inspectors will follow for any situation, not just Cindy's?
Yes, you can see her food inspection. You can stop in at Neshoba anytime and get a copy of the food establishment inspection checklist. You can go online, mass.gov, and you can see the requirements there for food safety. I mean, it's not secret information. It's out there and it's available. It's an interpretation of terminology in the original regulation and then this carve-out for potlucks.
Would I be able to get a position description for this government job? Or is it a government job, or are they working for some sort of nonprofit, these inspectors?
It's a state,
Neshoba?
it's a state job.
Well, no, Neshoba, they are
So then-
employees of Neshoba Associated Boards of Health.
So then I should be able to find their position descriptions.
Absolutely.
I would assume so. Stop in. They're right there on Central Avenue.
Okay, and so do you think I'm going to find anywhere in there the authority to do what they did to Cindy?
I'm not sure what they've done to.
They shut her down.
They shut her down
said-
without an inspection, without due process.
After 20 years.
I would suggest there was a question and a comment earlier actually made regarding legal precedent to the gentleman who's an attorney.
Yes.
In August, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that feeding the homeless in connection with any kind of religious organization is expressive conduct protected by the First Amendment, not to be abridged by any governing body. So I would suggest not only is the Board of Health, be it Neshoba or the Ayer Board of Health, in violation of the state law by ignoring or disregarding the language regarding regulations of exempted potlucks, the enforcement action that's taking place here is also unconstitutional on its
Can you
face.
email me
As
that?
ruled by
Can
the
you email me that
Atlantic
Please,
Circuit
citation?
Court.
I want you to
Absolutely,
understand.
I will.
Okay.
I'll send you the full text.
I understand why you really want to uphold higher standards, and it's not just all about, no matter how sad the story may be, you need to uphold the law. As someone with experience as a federal government employee, I totally understand that. That's why I am emphasizing that if you really want to be upholding the law and not cherry picking, there needs to be a well-documented process that is faithfully and correctly applied every single time.
I understand what you're saying.
You cannot have people going out there like a wrecking ball, causing
And I don't really think we have that, but we also can't have excuse me, I don't mean to mischaracterize you all. I think you're being about as patient as you probably can, but you also cannot show up at a meeting of a board of elected officials that is taking under consideration something for the first time that's been publicly brought before us, and come in here with torches and pitchforks. Do you want to work with us, or do you want to be adversarial? I would much rather work with you.
And I think that was the mistake that, I think a lot of you came here, thinking that we are gonna go in there and we're gonna bang our fists and we're gonna get our way. We are just hearing a lot of this for the first time.
Well, that's not
And I
true,
know-
because she has admitted that she's been working for a very long time with the Neshoba Board of Health.
With the Neshoba Board of Health, not just on this
I think
issue.
that's where
The
the-
COA, the
Council on Aging.
Council on Aging.
It's an
we went
issue
through
that's
the
come
same-
up in other areas in
It's
town.
in lots of different places. So we are not the bad guys here. We do want to work with Cindy. We
But
wanna
please,
support
please.
her.
And for the record,
Excuse me, could we please get our rhetoric under control? I have admitted, I'm not under subpoena here. I'm trying to run a local volunteer elected board. Can we please all have respect for one another?
as for the rhetoric, you're the one who says that my questions, which would be perfectly at home in any boardroom, of any governing body, when you have a federal agency trying to enforce the law.
Right?
So I'm asking really important questions that even a mid-level GS worker should be able to answer. So this is not torches and pitchforks. This is Dilbert.
Madam
And
Chair.
I am trying to get
I am a
answers to very
zero-level
basic
GS
questions.
employee. If
Okay?
you go to Neshoba, I believe you can get the information you're seeking. You've asked for job descriptions, you've asked for regulations. Those are all available.
And I will.
Madam
Yes, sir.
Chairperson, I suggest as a point of order,
Excuse me, I'd like to hear from your pastor.
as a point of order, Madam Chair, you should be recognizing one speaker at a time. All of the spontaneous.
Absolutely.
You have not done that.
Not one
Recognize one person at a time. That's who should speak. So that would make this a little more conducive to some dialogue, I think, than having everybody just jumping in.
Robert's rules.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I completely agree with what he just said, and if you need, I can be the enforcer. I spent way too many years in the military to let things run to chaos, and I really
Yeah.
do applaud your patience with all of us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and yours as well. And you really are doing good work.
We're trying.
I know, I know.
And if I may summarize a few, I promise I won't take 5 hours. I think what the gentleman here was trying to find out is, we've been operating, and I say we, the town,
Yeah.
Apple Valley, has been operating a soup kitchen for 20 years. What was the sudden issue and what provocated the shutting down? What was the impetus behind that? If I may summarize it quickly. If I may also summarize your position real quick.
Yes.
You brought up an issue of the definition of potluck.
Yeah.
And here on the page, the state defines what a potluck is.
Yep. Yep.
So, and I understand, government wheels turn very slowly, even at local levels.
That's true.
So we can answer these questions yes or no to define whether or not stone soup is a potluck. And it takes very little interpretation. So the people that come to Stone Soup and any other soup kitchen, do they come to gather and eat food?
Yes.
If the answer is yes, that's one box check. Do you, I, the church, or any other organization that's putting these on receive compensation for it? Do we charge for these meals? The answer is no. Again, another box check. So we're working our way through the definition. There's really not a lot of interpretation that needs to be done. The event is sponsored by a group of or individuals or by a religious, charitable, or non-profit organization. We're a church, we fit all of those. So the answer is yes. The event may not be conducted for commercial purposes. We don't charge. We don't put out official sponsorship saying, hey, if you're going to eat from us, that's great, but you now need to go and patronize these places. So that's another box check. We're getting through this. And the last point, participants at the event must be informed that neither the food nor the facilities have been inspected. We have the signage up.
Yes.
I even created, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, notices to hand out to the people that they came in, so that they could see that, look, we're not hiding anything from them. So we've checked all of the boxes. By definition of state law, this constitutes potluck. And as such, the state has no right or jurisdiction to shut it down. I think there was a lot of miscommunication And when there is miscommunication, anger and tempers flare, and we need to be settled. Very simply, by state law, we define it as a potluck.
I hear you.
I would be more than happy to work on whatever level I can, we can, with you and the state board to ensure no one gets sick. For 6 years, Cindy has personally taken care of that, and no one has ever gotten sick.
Yep.
Apple Valley was in business for 20 years. No one ever got sick.
I know.
And the fun part about this is, when we did it at Apple Valley, and still do it over here at Living Water, it's not that we create separate meals for people and then we go to our house and eat something else. We take the leftovers home and we eat them.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so if they're dying, so are we.
You're all going together.
We're going together. We're gonna go as one happy group.
Yeah, I get it.
So, with a little bit of patience, ladies of the board, the state law is very clear that this is a potluck. I know you want to deliberate. So let's deliberate at your leisure, but winter is coming.
Yes, I agree with you. And I believe that
So thank you.
Bridget had given the option of, it was prepackaged food, right? It wasn't just canned.
That's what prepackaged food is canned.
But what about sandwiches that are,
No, unless it comes from a place with a catering license. That's what I said. I can't even buy food from Tiny's. I can't have Shop and Save make me sandwiches and pack them up. I never touch them. It's just the process of taking it from there to there. It has to be somebody with this special piece of paper called a catering license.
Yeah.
Tracy has a catering license. She's in Shirley. There are 2 restaurants in all of Ayer that have catering licenses. And it's 3 times as expensive as it costs me to make a comparable meal. Not from Tracy, thank you, but from everybody else.
I hear you. I want to give everyone a chance, but I do want to hear more about the catering license, Pat. So I think this lady back here has been
Thank you.
for a while. Yeah.
The undercurrent I'm getting as all this is going on is that the board actually would love nothing better than to say, yes, do it.
I agree.
You support this, but it sounds like the roadblock, the stumbling block, is the interpretation by Neshoba Board of Health of the state law. So my question is there either a process for when this board does not agree with a decision by the Neshoba Board of Health that it can be appealed to, or that you can go over them to the state level for a decision? That maybe we can support you in some way in doing that?
That's what I've been trying to do in discussing with Bridget. Now, Bridget had told me today that she has spoken to the state, to the food safety people at the state, and they have said that a regularly occurring event is not a potluck. So,
That's not
I
true.
know, but we
need to be.
see, that's it. We can say that's not true, it's clear, it isn't clear, as much as we want, but we have to come to some consensus that takes in everybody's concerns.
May I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
First, I would like to know what precipitated the fact that suddenly she's no longer able to do this. Who or
okay.
what decided suddenly after 20 years of serving, may I finish my question?
Yep.
Of serving the public and doing God's will for the people. And I'm talking about God's will because you not personally, okay, but Neshoba, whoever is responsible for this decision, is stepping on a much higher authority than even the federal government.
Okay, we're not gonna go there. This is a
Yes, we
secular
are, because
meeting.
that's what
No,
this
we're
is
not,
about.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is a secular meeting.
Now you're stepping on my rights. Thank you.
You can do whatever you like in your religious life. This is a secular meeting, and the laws are secular. So, please, we have to keep it on that level, or whose religion are we gonna follow? So, I can tell you, though, what did precipitate this. And this is one reason that I would like Bridget or someone from Neshoba to be here when we discuss this as a group. Last year, there were a lot of changes in the Massachusetts Food Code. And that resulted in the whole checklist for inspecting food establishments had to be changed to incorporate these new requirements. Now, I'm not entirely sure, and I'd like to hear this from Bridget, whether this was something that got picked up because of those changes.
No.
I think not. I think it is more that an issue at another facility came to Bridget's attention. She made a ruling there, and that then precipitated a complaint against what you were doing.
Sour grapes.
Yeah, it's but that's what we have to think about.
What precipitated it? I have a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a question as far as, one of the things is bringing food in. Like, I obviously own a restaurant, I have the ability to deliver food.
Yeah.
They don't want me to deliver it in like sheet pans open, am I correct? Like, I have to prepackage anything that
Individually.
individually.
Yeah, I don't quite understand
Because my
the.
delivery, my catering, my everything, she should be able to come to my restaurant and make food with us, bring it back there without any problems because
Yeah.
we have all our certification.
Well, that's why I'm interested in hearing more about, so you have a.
I have a restaurant, so she would be able, for us to have that food, even if she made it there or whatever, brought in would be the same thing as me bringing it into your home.
So do you have the commercial kitchen that she can?
Of course she does. She
Yeah, but it's difficult for her to do that type of thing, but what I'm saying is I'm using it as an example.
Her restaurant is open on Fridays. I can't go in
Right,
and
so
monopolize
that
the
is,
kitchen.
right, that's why we can't do it.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, what difference does it make if I bring it in, or it just doesn't make
Well,
any
this is what I'm
sense.
wondering is.
She has the same allergen things as I do.
Yeah, and that's where I'm wondering if there is a pathway through this where if you have a commercial kitchen, you have a catering license, can you provide that food or can
It's
you
not
two, I don't know if you
cost-efficient.
have to actually prepare it.
Obviously, I can't do, I mean,
Not cost
it's
efficient.
not cost efficient. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't go to a restaurant and get food every week, what she's doing on,
Yeah.
at a lower scale. and
Yeah, I
not,
know, I know.
But are you gonna try to get it on the agenda for the next 2 weeks? I think that's what everybody's.
I would love to have you come back in 2 weeks and have the show be here.
Well, I will. The problem is that I was sort of previously committed to going to the candidates forum, which is in 2 weeks.
What time is that?
I don't know, what time is that?
7 p.m.
Because we start at 5:30. If you're in here at 5:30,
Okay.
that
Okay.
does give us
I just
a
think
bit of time to
we
discuss.
need to have another resource. We need to have that resource sitting here.
Yeah,
to
it's a
answer
piece of
the
information.
Regulatory questions that we cannot answer.
I think that the main sticking point that we've come across right at the moment is that this insistence that we have access to a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
There are no churches with commercial kitchens. Restaurants cannot let us use their commercial kitchen. That is a nightmare of regulations to do such a thing.
Yeah.
But with a potluck at a church, you should not need to have a commercial kitchen.
And I don't fully
Period.
understand the commercial kitchen connection,
Well,
which is why I do want to hear from
I've done an
Michelle.
awful lot of, I know more about commercial kitchens now than
you ever wanted to, right?
And I've come fully to the conclusion, reading the state regulations, that as a potluck, we do not need to have one. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even need to have servicing, but I felt that it was a good idea. I felt that it was a very reasonable thing to ask me to do, and, I was trying to work with her, I was trying to be reasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I'm told that as soon as I get my serve safe, then I'll be able to cook, as long as I can find a commercial kitchen to serve from, not even to cook in, I can cook at home, serve from a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that there were no commercial kitchens available. I felt a little deceived.
Yeah, well, that's, I say I'm not sure I understand it, because I'm hearing that you can't use the commercial kitchen, and yet she's citing the commercial kitchen as something that could help you, so I'm at a loss to
So am
connect
I.
those dots.
So am I.
But you're jumping on board, taking advantage of her business to say, well, why can't Cindy come, why can't you give Cindy all your food from your commercial kitchen?
No, that.
I'm not jumping on board anything. I'm just saying Neshoba has
But
said
she does, they
that-
don't need a commercial kitchen, and it's stated right here, so that should just be taken out of the mix. We're all here because we love Cindy, I've worked with her. We're all here to support the need that is truly here in Ayer.
I understand that. I understand
Collaborate
that.
to make sure that this works
Yeah.
for all of us.
Madam Chair. Does the
Yes.
Neshoba Board of Health know that you now have turned towards this agenda, Cindy, of a potluck? Do they know that you kind
yes.
of drifted away from, I don't need a commercial kitchen, I want to go with a
Yes,
potluck?
yes, go ahead.
Well,
You
if
need
that's
to,
not the case.
guys, you need to address the chair. You need to address the chair,
One at a
not me,
time.
okay? Let her decide.
So-
May I answer her?
Yes, yes.
I can't remember the question.
The question was whether or not you have informed Bridget
Yes.
of the availability.
Yes, I did, thank you. Yes, I did. And she basically said that she was kind of finished with it, and if I wanted to appeal it, I could appeal it to your board. And that's when I turned, that was when I turned to you guys. So that's why it took so long, because all
I see.
summer,
Yeah.
I was dealing with back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
And I do feel that she was trying to help me, okay? I do not want people throwing other people under the bus, please stop. These are all volunteers, okay? I'm on a volunteer board, it's a really thankless job, please don't yell at them. They're trying to help. Anyway, so yes, I did speak to her about it. I sent her information on where I was going with it and said that I was going to change the format so that it was no longer being run as a soup kitchen. But that's why I said, I think that it was a mistake for me to pick that name, because I think that that soup kitchen thing got, you just don't think so?
I don't
Okay.
think so, no. In
All
fact,
right.
don't change the name. I
But
love the name.
I do too, and plus Scott
I
Allen.
think it
who
speaks
lives
to
here
what
in-
you're trying to do.
Scott Allen, who lives here in town, made me a sign, so I don't want to have to.
Okay, then really don't change it then.
Anyway, okay, so.
Okay, yes, Indy.
Thank you. I'm trying to refocus the group because it's clear the Board of Health will not be making any decisions this evening.
No,
Correct.
No, you shouldn't.
Procedurally, however, the Board of Health should have received reports from the health agent that would have notified the Board of Health of this situation when it began 6 months ago,
Yeah,
5 months ago.
5 months.
Has Ms. Braley submitted reports to the Air Board of Health about this particular situation?
I don't believe she has submitted a written report to us. We've certainly been in verbal and email communication about their...
Email would constitute a written report.
Yeah, that there's
So there are
just that there is a disagreement regarding...
So there are documents from Ms. Braley to the Air Board of Health giving you notice of the situation. That then would be...
I believe so, I'm not...
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
this gentleman asked for procedures, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to help everyone understand that.
Yeah.
So she would have written to the Board of Health to notify you of her concerns and whatever enforcement requirements she put on Cindy. I am going to request that all that information be available to the public through your page and at the meeting whenever you convene it, whether it be the 18th or some other night, so that it's clear. And then I would also suggest to you, as our elected officials, you have the authority to override what Ms. Braley says and adopt the provisions of Chapter 230, the Acts of 2014, if I'm not mistaken. The pastor read you the definition, Cindy read you the definition, you read the definition, everyone has it in their hands.
Right.
It is clear it's a potluck, doesn't require a commercial kitchen. Can be served right here in this room if the building was available. So I would encourage you to explain to Ms. Braley that is how clearly the town and guests from other towns want this to go forward.
I understand your point.
Thank you.
Hold on a second, I thought there was a hand up.
Pam, you had your hand up for a long time.
Thank you. I kind of was going to go on the same thing that Pauline just said, and I was just going to say, clearly you are in support of Cindy. We're in support of Cindy. We all know that. So the next step is to get the Board of Health the Neshoba Board of Health here to hear exactly what was just said tonight. And then, so really, we're just looking for a timeline, like, so 2 weeks, the next meeting, and then can we wrap that up in 2 weeks? Can
Come
we wrap
back.
it up in a month?
Come back to the meeting.
That's what Billy was asking too, and he was here.
Right.
Is it gonna be a month or a year
No,
or
no,
something?
no,
You know
no.
what?
Right.
But we're all, I think we all agree. I think you guys agree, everybody agrees. So we just want to know what's the next step. We were told 2 weeks. Okay, let's call it a day. You know, and
That works for me.
I need you in 2 weeks, people.
Well, I think we are kind of, we're going over a lot of ground that we have before. Come back on the 14th.
18th.
I'm sorry, the 18th, what am I saying? The 18th, come back on the 18th, and I will make sure, guys, hey, you guys wanted more order, so let's have it. And you can definitely come that night?
I can't.
All right, and I will arrange with Bridget that if she's not able, then if somebody from the show will be here, and we'll get all the thoughts on the table.
Madam Chairwoman?
Don't you think that they should?
Yes.
So, if I may provide a clarification, the reason why I am so concerned isn't merely out of frustration, because I'm too new to this situation to be frustrated. I just moved to the town last month. But she's my neighbor, and I came here to support her. The details I heard here tonight are extremely concerning. And frankly, I was flabbergasted because it sounded like you had an agent of the government out there exceeding her authority. And
She's not.
this would be the check on that decision-making process to determine whether it was correct or incorrect. Is that, do I have that right so far?
No, I don't agree that she's an agent of the government. She's an agent of the board that is interpreting the regulations
But it
for
sounded
us.
like, just from what I've heard so far, that she has exceeded her authority throughout this process. So,
I don't believe so. I think that she and her management agreed on their interpretation of the original law and the potluck comment.
okay.
So I don't see that as exceeding your authority. I see it as just having a disagreement.
Well then, as a collective entity, the Neshoba Boards of Health can be corrected by the Ayer Board of Health, you, on a decision-by-decision basis.
Absolutely, to the extent that, right, to the extent that we don't violate state or local
And would that also, so let's say you were able to say, you know what, Neshoba, we think you got this one wrong, let's say you go back to doing a potluck. Would that also set a precedent for future decisions of this town, neighboring towns, would it trickle up to the state and have some sort of memo?
Well, that's
being
one
sent
of the
out?
things, right, that's one of the things that we have to consider, is it's definitely going to set a precedent for this town.
Because it's not just Cindy's, the church, there's 2 or 3 other that are involved in this whole decision.
Yeah, I don't know any of those specifics, but I kind of figured that would be the case. That
Yeah.
this would have great ramifications across the Commonwealth. And you could really do a lot of good if you're able to put your foot down and say, this is the intent of this law, and this is how it's going to be enforced for the common good. Please do so. Thank you.
I hear you. I hear you, I hear you. Another point, similar to, in support really of what you just said, additional extrinsic research that I've been doing showed that there are a lot of communities, particularly in the South, where I suspect that it might be easier to get along as a homeless person, particularly in Florida. A lot of cities have tried to pass ordinances that say you can't feed the homeless in a public setting. You can't go to a public park. You can't, serve meals to the homeless outdoors. And I agree with the people that object to that, because I think that they are objecting to the homeless, not to the
Right.
feeding of the homeless.
Right.
Nobody here is objecting to the homeless. So,
So many of us are one paycheck away from that.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Yeah.
being food insecure. I've never been homeless, but I was food insecure at one point in my life. Of course, now I made up for it, but,
we've gone past
but
that.
it, yeah, we'll pass that, but a church was what,
Yeah.
you know, filled in the gap for me so that I wasn't eating out of dumpsters.
I think it's done that for a lot of people over
So,
many,
I
many
appreciate
decades.
your time, and I appreciate all of my friends who came. And
I do too.
I'm very, very sorry that we kind of got a little hot for a while there, but
Yeah, no.
my understanding is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that you would like to see this work out.
I would.
And I would like
Yeah.
to come back and try to help it work out, so.
Okay, all right.
I thank you very much.
You are going to be first on the agenda for the meeting in 2 weeks. And I will make sure that someone from Neshoba also attends. And I will also ask our town manager if he feels the need to involve town attorney, you know, let's get it all over with at once. So
Well, if that's the
I'll
case,
see if we're going to elevate this, let's try to get it
If that's
over
the
with.
case, should I be bringing an attorney?
You know, it's funny, because I kind of hate it when both sides lawyer up, because then it feels like you're not really
Well, then I'm not
working
sure
together.
that I feel very comfortable in having,
I would say
town have an
if the
attorney.
town is going to bring an attorney, I will most definitely tell.
Bring an attorney or just speak with an attorney?
I think that.
I think we can find one.
Speak.
We know.
I may just, yeah.
see, that's what I did. I consulted an
Yeah.
attorney. I didn't bring him with me. Pam's friend was not my attorney. Although he was
Okay.
very intelligent, I'd like to talk to him, and he laughed.
Yeah.
But,
Generally, Cindy, generally that's what he does.
You got a hand up over here.
If he feels, shh, please.
yeah.
If he feels that he needs to talk with the town attorney, he will. I don't think that attorney would be here in 2 weeks.
I don't think so.
He'd do like you did. You
Yeah.
consulted. Yes.
Yeah. And if he wanted to talk to, if the town attorney wants to talk to me, I'll leave, you know, my phone, I'll email you my phone number.
Sure.
Do you want me to email you the text of what I read tonight?
I need to include
Yes,
that in the minutes.
yes, please.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Yep.
With all my folks who still have.
I think we had a hand.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right.
I'm used to being ignored.
Because you talk too much, apparently.
Just so we can get everything on with the last note. The Neshoba board enforces what you tell them to. So what your homework then, we need to come back in 2 weeks. Your homework needs to be to come together as a group and decide what the definition of a potluck is. The state has outlined it very clearly. If you agree with that, then that's how the Neshoba Valley Board of Health or Health Commission needs to enforce it, because they are your agent. And so you need to dictate to them how to enforce it. And then all of this is cleared up and goes away.
You're about 90% right. The only modification to that I would make is to say that they don't enforce our will or wishes. They enforce the state regulations and our local regulations.
Correct. But
And we
if you-
kind of have this
yeah.
disagreement here.
As I
over-
say, but if you agree
Yeah.
that the state definition is potluck, then that's what they need to enforce and not their own interpretation.
Yeah, I
Things are, everybody wants to inject gray when issues are really black and white. And the law says you can and you cannot.
Yeah.
There's not a sometimes in there. And so as a board, I guess you need to find out the black and white. So I do thank you again for all your time and patience with us.
For all the work that you did.
Yes,
All the
thank
work
you.
that you did preparing. Thank you.
And thank you all for coming. It takes a lot to get people to come out on a weeknight. So
Thank you.
I appreciate every one of you being here.
I'm interested in that text that the gentleman in the back read.
Thank you, members of the board. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you. Pace yourself, though. You've only been in town a month.
It'd be nice to, did you, when you were reading that off your phone?
I'll send you an email.
Okay, you guys have to go. We have more meeting stuff to take care of. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mary. We try to herd the cats out. Hello, you need to leave the room. There's a meeting going on.
I just want to let you all know you're doing a great job.
We're trying. We're trying to make everything.
All right, so, where are we?
Do you need a loud enough to officiate the rest of everything else?
No, but I do want to
Generally, say, given the name, nobody's name other than
But also, if we had done that, we would have been, when you reviewed, it is. So-and-so said this, yeah. So they got out the question. We just never had this much in the room, so to have that happen.
You guys have a great night.
I deserve that comment about the charges of the force. I did not expect it to be so.
We're just paying the best, we gotta get through this.
Sandy Collins got to meet at 7.
Okay, and we're still on, we're still recording here.
Yeah.
They go upstairs.
Do they go upstairs?
Do they
Oh,
go
okay,
upstairs?
good.
Yeah, they go upstairs.
Okay, good. I didn't know. We've never been that long, so
We're
that's good.
still on,
I was nervous.
I was in Boston for a while.
Pam, we're still recording. Pam.
I am coming back.
That's me.
Thank you very much.
I'm not trying to just do a drive-by shouting. And it's going to be my turn to get shouted at soon enough. They basically drafted me to be on the Conservation Commission.
Awesome.
On Monday, so.
Welcome to town government.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
All right, thank you for your input.
Sandy Pond School needs something.
Okay, good. I didn't know that.
We can keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so, and the reason I wanted to let that just air itself out is that
It had gone on another 2 hours.
it probably would have, but I think that feelings on their side have been festering because of this maybe misunderstanding between what's Neshoba, who are we,
Yes.
and how we
One
fit
of those.
together.
Oh, yes,
so,
me too.
yeah. So I'm sorry, ladies, for keeping you so late. For that. Do you want to you move minutes to the very end, correct?
Well, I can get those.
We've looked at them, do you want to do them?
Yeah, we can have
Let's
a
get
minute,
that
sure, let's
done.
do that.
All right. Take a deep breath then.
Yes, absolutely.
And I would move that we approve the minutes of October 21st, 2019.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's sign this one. Okay, I'd like just an extra page here, so I'll get rid of that. There you go. So, we did indeed have our public input, and we did our minutes. We talked about vaping.
PFAS.
Yeah, PFAS, nothing new there, but I think it's a good idea to leave it on.
Always, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I do too, and I think that our neighboring town is now going to do something about it too. I believe that was on their agenda.
Oh, really?
Last Monday. I didn't go to town meeting because I was ill, but They had a very long one down there, and I think that, over 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're going to address it, I believe, with a water treatment plant.
Yeah, I believe that was the, I believe that is it. And that Devens has formally taken responsibility. Is the other thing that I heard, which is like,
Yeah.
yes, happy day. All right, on the Board of Health regulations. So the aquifer, when I spoke with Bridget, she suggested to me the changes to make, which were different from the first round of changes. So I still need to do that and get them to Bridget. On body art, I think at this point you may just want to take some of this information and make your
You don't have pictures, do you?
choices. I don't, but I'll tell you. I checked just a couple of other towns. I checked the state regulation, and that's been around for a long time, and we are indeed, you know, we follow the minimum regulations of the state. However, I found Townsend. Bridget had suggested, looks like you might have to write Townsend on the top of your own copies because it kind of got cut off.
Okay.
And this one for you too. Townsend has, under this restrictions section, has a very detailed list of things,
yes.
the majority of which I didn't know could be pierced. Never mind would want to pierce. But sometimes specifics can be good because then you don't have this kind of thing.
Goodness gracious.
You know, I know.
Have you got the second page?
No, that's it. I just brought the section with the restrictions.
This is enough, Mary, right here. This will.
Yeah, because we were just talking about possibly
I
adding
read down as it
restrictions.
is, okay.
No, it's just, so here's one from Wayland. Wayland has you know, it talks about, it's not quite as painfully specific as Townsend. And then the last one that I brought for you is Lowell. Because I thought, well, geez, if you can't do it in Lowell, I don't know if you should be able to do it here. So.
They're a city.
Yeah, because they're a city, exactly. So if you could pass that down to Heather, and I have this for
So
you.
there is a license, you are a body art practitioner.
That's one of the things I
Wow.
gotta look into a little
So
more.
how do you
is-
become that?
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just a matter of what, I think it might be what the Department of Public Health, in Lowell's case, does. Because Wayland, when I printed out the regulation, I got the application too. And you choose when you submit this, whether you're submitting for piercing, tattooing, or both. So this might be just terminology depending on, you know, maybe the Lowell department calls it body art practitioner. I have the whole regulation for all of these that I'm going to look at. But I thought this would give us some good kind of comparative information to take a look at and see what you ladies think that we might want to, you know, kind of catch in our regs.
I think the more we would most likely want to go with the more in-depth one.
I kind of think so.
Because it covers more, and that would be Lowell seems to have.
Yeah, Lowell has quite a list, and I don't know why it's broken out this way. So they have, in this first page, is restriction of certain body art activities, and they go on to say you can't do any of these things. But then you also can't do any of the things prohibited under section 18. So that's what the next 2 pages are, is the whole section 18, what you can't do.
Holy monkey.
I know. This is like, I'm reading this going, oh my God, I live a very sheltered life.
I do too.
So take a look. Next week, we might have a long public input again, possibly, so
Well, no, I think next time they're scheduled. They're not
Yes.
for public input,
Right.
they're scheduled.
they're scheduled, yes, yes, that's,
So-
yes, that is true.
And I think we have to have a little more decorum.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You don't, like you said, we're here to hear everything. Don't get out your whips and knives at us.
Exactly.
And that was
Yeah.
getting very out of control. It was very angry.
Yeah.
Not from Cindy. She presented her
Yes.
stuff.
She and the pastor were very, very respectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you cannot come in, and I would dare say, and I've been on a number of boards and committees over the years, some sitting when on my hospital boards.
Yeah.
And you turn people off when you come in
Yeah,
and
you do.
start really attacking them verbally. So it has to be very coordinated. They're on the agenda, you present it, and then that's it.
Yeah, and tonight I just saw as a little bit different because I sensed, I got an email from Cindy that was, I don't know if I would call it aggressive, but it started off by saying that we owe her an apology.
Yes.
It was like, oh geez, the more I reread that, I'm glad I didn't respond right away because the more I reread it started to dawn on me that she feels like she's been fighting this battle.
Yes, and she
for
has.
6 months, and she has.
But
It just hasn't been with us.
We weren't privy to a lot of this.
Well, yes, but if she was told that she was going to be on the agenda and she didn't get on it, I can understand why she sent you that. So there's been some.
Yeah. We did have a little confusion there.
Yes,
I had
okay.
invited Virginia Leonard to come, which is why I wanted her to delay, so.
Apparently, there's been some, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And we'll go on, she's scheduled, and we'll have the meeting and.
And it will not be like this.
No, I wanted them to get it out of their system, it's just.
But it gets to the point where the same person is saying something that
I
he
know.
said
I know.
an hour before.
I know.
And in the minutes, if we had done it the right way, but who knew? We've never had this many people going like that.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's
Yeah,
all these
people would have
rules and
said
all the way you're supposed
yeah.
to run a meeting, you're supposed to introduce yourself.
You're supposed
You're
to-
supposed to write down their name and they said this.
Excuse me, you're not only supposed to do that, you're supposed to do like you do at town meeting. You get up, if I spoke at town meeting, I'd say, Mr. Moderator, Mary Spinner, 18 Myrick Street.
Right.
That's how you're supposed to do it. And people, because eventually, these minutes come out, somebody reads them, there's no name for anybody that spoke.
I would say that probably the way that we should record this in the minutes is, what do we have for chairs in here? There's like 20 over here, maybe 30, 40.
There were at least 10 people out in the hall.
I would say we had a good 40 plus people, 40 to 50 people come to give public input. All of which was supportive of.
I wouldn't call it public input. I would call it more, some of it actually very angry at us.
Yeah, but public input can sometimes.
Well, this was more than public input. We had to schedule it under public input because it wasn't otherwise on the agenda.
But not only that, it was also, and we kept trying to clarify what's over at Neshoba and what our role is. And I think they came into the room thinking it was one entity and that was, they were gonna come in here and say, you've had plenty of time, she's been going through this all summer. But we have not had all that.
And to Pauline's comment, I think I have an email from Bridget. Can you look in your emails too, and I'll look in mine for what do we have for communication from?
The only thing I have from Bridget for communications is when she first referred Cindy to us, and that was probably about
4 weeks ago.
I might have
That's the only thing that I
something
have.
earlier than that. I get confused sometimes over, was it email or was it a telephone
But even
call? Was it text?
referring her to us, are we supposed to make that decision? Are we supposed to say, well, we're gonna appeal?
Well,
I don't
it's
understand.
kind of, Bridget has reached an impasse. So she has told them, no, she's discussed it internally in her office, and they have agreed with her that it's a no on the grounds that this is not the definition of potluck.
Then perhaps, maybe somebody, okay, if Bridget works, we're one of the communities she works in,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
If this is going to turn out to be a he said, she said, and etc., maybe it should be one of the other administrators.
Yeah.
It should be either Jim, if Jim isn't available, Ira.
I said
always
that to
does
Bridget
that.
today. I said, if you feel like you're just at an impasse, I said, I know I always hated to kick things upstairs to my boss because it made me feel like I couldn't handle it. But that might be a better option because it's a new player, it's somebody that can speak to different towns. She said that Jim is not so much on the food side, but Ira would.
Ira's very good.
Yeah, would really have
And
this down.
I also would hate to see Bridget come to the next meeting and get treated poorly,
Yeah,
which
yeah, exactly, yeah.
given the responses tonight,
yeah,
I think there'd be a lot of,
Yeah, I think that Ira would be a very good person
Well,
to come if he can.
That was kind of another strategy for letting off some steam tonight, is that, okay, that's behind us now. Next time, when we have our meeting, we're going to do this in a organized, respectful manner, we're gonna get people's names. We just had to get let people get some emotion.
And I think
out.
that we didn't realize it was gonna come to this, but I think if we set that, we preface the meeting with, or when it's their turn.
Yeah.
This is not gonna be the way it was last time. You
Right.
Stand up, you
Yes.
say a name like Mary said.
Yeah.
And we need to be writing this down.
And I actually think what I might do is email Cindy and ask her if she can help, work with the pastor there to kind of help make sure that
happens.
That's the way that.
And that we should
proceed.
probably invite Linda too.
Well,
Yeah,
some of
I
them,
will.
grab some chairs.
some of them did say that, I don't know why she doesn't go upstairs.
Some of them did say what, Mary?
Some of them said they wanted, well, I think even Cindy said she wanted to go to the candidates forum.
Well, we're
Yeah.
early enough. We meet early enough.
What I'm trying to say is that might be another thing to get it online, say, because, some people want to go down there for that.
After that.
And,
We ran a little long, gentlemen,
That's
so
all right, no problem.
gotta be patient.
Don't worry about
Anyways.
Anyway,
Okay.
So we know, are we inviting
oh,
Robert?
dear God.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Russ know, I'm gonna ask him if he wants to speak with council, let him know that Cindy has spoken with an attorney, so. But I do have concerns about, this is not one place. If it were only one place, but it's not. It's going to ricochet around
We
the
have
town.
2 or 3 other places in town.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
others.
Although, if this really is a potluck, to this gentleman's credit, who was sitting in the corner and gave me his card, this may be an opportunity to do something, right, that could, maybe be cited elsewhere. I'm not showing my hand, Mary, I'm just saying. All right, so.
Okay, what I wanted to ask you, and I've been hearing, our great general court down there in Boston.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're good friends.
Yes, my close friend. that have never seen anything they didn't want to change or add another fee or tax to.
Right.
There seems to be a lot of discussions going on different regulations, and I'm not positive, but there could be something going on down there with a few of the things that we're interested in. So,
Okay.
I know there's a lot going on, and I'm not sure, of course, there's a lot going on now with this vaping thing and the shutdown and some people, this is all they did. So now they've lost their business. So now they can't pay their bills, they can't pay their employees, that puts people out of work. And for anybody listening to me, don't think I'm saying, oh, well, she's glad of this. No, I'm just talking about what happened.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that happened very fast. As an executive order, there's no deliberations.
Well, exactly. It's not like you say to somebody, look, we warned you about this, okay, we're shutting you down at such a date. It was just, by the way, this has just happened, and that's it. So, also what has made aware today, and I didn't know, for all this vaping stuff and everything, you can just go online.
Yeah.
You can just go online.
Go to New Hampshire.
That's
well,
right.
you don't even have to. You don't have to leave your house. You just go online and have it delivered.
But I've heard, though,
is out
well,
there.
the black market
Out
is a
there,
whole
too.
other thing. But
So-
then I have heard, I was talking to somebody at one of my clients last week that orders their vaping stuff online. And they said that when they went in to put an order online, like a week or two after this happened, a pop-up came, we cannot ship these products to Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
So I think the word got out to even the online retailers, now probably not all of them.
No.
Yeah.
And probably not the black market.
Yeah, which is
fake
always,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, which is always a problem, but. Anyway, so where are we with our trash haulers and our animals and our tobaccos?
So the animal permits, there is one in your packet to sign. That's the one that Julie had caught. The 4 certified letters had gone out.
Okay.
I received 2 of them back, one of which called me saying he no longer has chickens, so I told him to send it to me in writing.
Okay.
And I get to see that.
Okay.
We're still at a standstill for the last
Okay. Did they call you or did
They called and I told them to send me something in writing, and that was about a week ago.
You know what you can do is,
And I don't know how many
admit
times
it.
I can tell people to tell me in writing
I know.
if you no longer have chickens, so I can put it in the file.
I agree
But
with
every
you.
letter I've sent, every phone call I've gotten, that is what I tell them, and I yet to get it.
I know, and I would prefer something in writing too.
Well,
but
otherwise, it's, if I don't put it in the file or take it out, I don't.
the only thing you
It's
can
gonna get sent
do
again.
is a phone memo. You can do a little memo
Yeah.
to their file that you're just
Yeah.
documenting a phone call
I
you
know,
had
it's
on
just-
this day.
Yeah.
I'd rather get it in writing too.
But, and then as far as tobacco permits, all of those.
So does this wrap up the do we have all our chickens?
I said there's still
in order?
those 4 outstanding ones, and I had to ask Julie if she can go out and verify if they have them or not.
Bridget told me today that if you get her that list, she will take care of sending out letters that kind of take it to that next
Okay.
level of our regulation does allow for fines
All right,
and.
sounds good. I will do that then, because I am just.
Yeah,
Well,
I think.
with it.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
too, Madam Chair, that next year, and it'll be time before we know it, to send them out again for next year.
Oh, I know.
So we can just send it a little notice and put it online, you know, change in office, and fortunately for you people, you got the old rate,
Yeah.
and this is what was voted in, and this is what the rate is,
Yep.
and you must send them back right away.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't have to go through this.
No.
And we never did before.
No, it was just kind of a strange, it was a
an
strange
odd
year, and
Yeah,
I would say since Bridget made the offer that
Yeah,
she'll.
I will definitely get that to
she'll
her
resolve it.
next week when I see her.
Yeah.
Or I'll
Or just
email it to her,
her.
yeah, email it to her, so I'll
just
see her
email
next
her
week.
this.
One more question, and it's,
Yes.
well, I'm thinking of this because it's November 4th, and the new establishment over there on Harvard Road,
Yeah,
they had said they were opening November 1st. Did they open?
it doesn't look to me, I just went by
That was
it.
there.
There's still cones.
Yeah, there's still
Yeah,
cones.
okay.
It doesn't look like it's open, but it looks
It's
like
ready.
they're very close.
Well, I asked this because we have the food permit, remember?
Yeah.
There, and
Yeah.
then the tobacco, and I went
Yeah.
to numerous meetings for one thing or another, and they said their goal was to be open by November
Yeah.
1st, so I'm just
I don't think they're gonna miss it by a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
They haven't called for their final inspection for the building to get their occupancy yet, so, and I still haven't received call for that, so as far as that would be the main
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
usually with Bridget, when she issues her permits for the food, she'll let, those in the town, like myself and Board of Selectmen would know, so they can release their behavioral licenses as well, which I believe they would need that.
yeah.
So it'd be a, probably.
Well, and there was
Okay.
remember, there was kind of a discussion as far as the food. It was gonna be this,
Yeah.
and then they changed it to that, then they
Yeah.
went back to Plan A, and then it
I
was
do
Plan
recall
A
that.
minus, and whatever. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we heard so many different things.
No, I know.
so,
I think it was evolving as,
Right, right.
as they worked on it. So they don't, as far as you know, Heather, they don't have food permit.
No, that's as far as I know.
Yeah, and they don't have their occupancy.
They don't have occupancy.
Okay.
They have another
Did
final
they take
inspection.
care of the tobacco? I feel like
They
we
did, we
did
did
that.
that the last meeting.
Yes, okay.
Yep.
All right.
They
I
did
thought
that.
so.
And then as far as the trash haulers and tobacco permits go, I sent the renewals out last week. I went through the list that was there for the trash haulers and I felt it was a little light, so I researched a few other ones that I've seen dumpsters come through for building permits in town and sent those out. Some have come back in the mail, so I gotta find new addresses for them.
Okay.
3 have come back. I had a hard time trying to print out the permit thing, that's why you don't have it in there. I gotta
Oh, okay.
reformat
Yeah.
everything so I can get those for you to sign. But 3 have come back. 1 is missing material, so I have to contact them. I said 3 of them have came back in the mail return, so I gotta find new addresses for them and send those out again, so they have all gone out. And 1 tobacco permit for, Shop and Save came back, so.
Can I just look at your list of?
Oh, yes, like I said, the trash haulers that I added aren't on here, and I can get those
Yeah,
for
I
you,
just
but-
want to take a quick.
Yeah, how many active ones?
So there,
did
so
we
the
have?
active ones I have that, and forgive me, it's a few pages ago on my meeting minutes.
Sure.
at the top.
I understand.
So there's 10 trash haulers that were permitted last year, 15 tobacco, and so far to date, we have 14 chicken permits.
Okay. We have 14 that have been.
Yes, we've received and issued. As far as trash haulers, I believe I sent out 18.
Okay, because I'm just thinking of the one like Republic, I see them waste.
Yeah.
I think I
Waste
sent
not,
eight.
that's a big one.
I sent 18 out.
Then Toronto, yeah.
You figure the
Shaw's.
junk removal ones, those are technically, I read
Right.
the regulations, the
Yeah.
commercial dumpsters, so for renovations, I double checked the regulations before I sent those and they are required, so
Okay.
I did some of those as well.
Okay, so, yeah, just keep an eye on,
Yeah.
on that one and,
Hopefully
Try to
next
make
meeting,
sure
there's a couple
everybody-
more and they'll trickle in.
yeah, I think the trash haulers and the tobaccos won't be too bad.
No, I don't
Because they
think
kind of
so.
know what they need, and they're companies that probably have a compliance
Yeah, so one of them,
group that-
on the list here was for the Family Dollar, I don't know if they have, I don't know the name. But the first one is it's actually a Virginia address, it must be the home
Right,
office.
it's
So
the
the other
home
one, it's not
office.
gonna be the
Yeah.
town, so we had to go all the way to Virginia, so I told me that would take a little while.
Yeah, yeah, there are a few, as I recall, that come in that way,
Yeah.
like from these corporate offices.
But they all went out last week, so.
Okay, perfect. So trash and tobacco. Tobacco went last week too?
Yes,
or-
yeah, they
okay.
both expired at the end of the year, so. I said-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Do we have anything?
There's nothing from the show, right?
Nothing from the show, but, oh yeah, that's right, Bridget did.
And I think they're, in view of the fact that that sale didn't go through. I believe they're working over there diligently.
Oh.
You know, well, remember she
Yeah.
was working with them
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
and then it was gonna be for sale, and then
Yep.
we didn't know what was gonna go
Yep.
happen. But they've done a lot of work, and so she said, I just spoke to her about 3 minutes before I came down here, and she said, oh, I think I forgot to tell Pam that we're working closely, and if we need to give them an extension on it, to please do it.
Yeah.
Because they have made,
Yes, I think
made
it's-
a lot of, well, I guess one of the things he's doing now, I'm trying to think what it is. It's something to do with the plumbing and the sink and it's gonna cost $5,000 anyway for this thing.
There's some flooring that
Yeah.
I know is a
They
problem too.
Cleaned up the whole top floor,
Yep.
that's all done and everything. So anyway, I would say that since they're doing due diligence, and if you want that in a motion, I'll make a motion that we extend the consideration time to the Neshoba Club on Central Avenue.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That way,
Yeah,
anybody says anything, it's done properly.
it's documented, yeah. Okay, perfect.
And
I
don't
think it was about 2 weeks ago that I spoke with her last, and she said, even as of then, they had made
Right.
some, I mean, I talked to her today too, but prior to that, we talked about that place, and she had,
And I think we've
Said
said
she's still
this
working.
before, that when you take, excuse me, a building that was old,
Oh, yeah.
and then you have to look at all today's new regs
Right,
and
right,
everything, it's not the simple procedure it was. It's a very expensive proposition to do anything today.
yeah.
Yeah, so the fact that they're working at that, I would certainly, I think we're going on the right direction as opposed to,
I think so.
you know, somebody.
Well, they're
that-
not ignoring it.
They have never ignored it, they've
Right,
signed off on everything, so.
yeah. All right. So we have, oh, vicious cat in your neighborhood.
Yes,
Cat bite, Myrick Street,
where?
Vicious cat.
10, number 10.
10 Myrick.
Cat bite. Oh no, the cat was bitten, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for disparaging the cat. The cat was bitten, an unknown source, likely to be another animal. Oh, the poor thing, I said right. Oh, Lily, the domestic short hair, I'm sure is not a vicious cat, so I retract that statement. So she got bitten and she got a booster, rabies booster. DEP, access and consent to enter property request,
there-
43 Willow Road.
There's several in that same area, so that's a stack of them.
Okay. Oh, this has to do with, so they want to access 43 Willow Road. Department's purpose for seeking access to the site is to conduct an inspection of the area associated with a historical rubber tire chip fire that occurred in August 2010. Is that 43 Willow?
There's several of them in that area, so I don't know where the fire was, but there's several requests from DEP for the same
Well,
thing.
it's gotta be them, because they're the
In the
only
Willow
tire
Road, I think they're all on
recycling.
Willow Road.
Looks like this one is kind of a double. It's to conduct an inspection from this old rubber tire chip fire, but then they also want to do some sampling and monitoring for the PFAS chemicals.
What number are they in?
That was 43 Willow Road, and the rubber tire chip fire happened in August 2010.
Well, I'm real concerned about that.
And we're just getting this now?
Well, no, it's.
They have other things to do.
But there was, it's not the chip fire we're worried about. It's the firefighting foams and stuff that they may have used. Yeah, to fight that. So that's why they want to look at PFAS there. We also have 12 Willow Road. So 43 is, so it's Schofield's, F&M, Milton Realty, that doesn't ring a bell to me.
No.
12 Willow Road is CMRE LLC. And once again, they're going on there on their land to check for PFAS, and this has to do with the rubber tire chip fire. And 31 Willow Road. Oh, and 11
So it
Willow
must be
Road.
those
Yeah.
homes that are on the other side of the hill.
It's the businesses.
Those are business,
those are
no,
the
these are
ones down.
businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of them is
They're on.
Carmelese.
Yeah, that's the old, where I used to work. So it was the air-powered wing when that was Copco, now it's Solar on Earth, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
Building right in the
Yeah,
corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to work there
All right, I got you.
back in the day.
I know where we mean. And this other one, the 31 Willow, is Box Mill Farm Holdings, whatever that is. But it's all related to the same thing. It's
Yeah.
related to this August rubber tire. So did you get the addresses, Mary? It's
Oh, I have.
11, 12,
31 and 43.
31.
Well, I got 43, 12, 31.
And 11.
And 11.
11?
Yeah, also, there's four.
Also wetlands there.
Yes.
Because I lived in that little house
Oh,
for
really?
2 years.
You lived
Well,
over there?
yeah, when I was little, our house burned down, and while we were rebuilding it,
Really?
we lived on Willow
How
Road.
awful.
I know, but that's beside, but that little house, Slarski's old house, is the only little white house next to that strip. There's
Oh.
wetlands, there's a brook or
Okay.
something right over there too, so they probably want to.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
no, it's like the last house standing on that side, everything else is commercial
Yeah.
until we get up further.
Yeah. I thought this is where I put the, oh no, I put the minutes in to be signed, right? Just want to make sure I don't walk off with the signed minutes then too. That's the chickens. Where are the signed minutes? No, that's chickens. I know. Ah, here they are. Okay, that's going down. That it will be to be signed. All righty. So let's look at where we are then. So we did that. We don't have any Neshovas. We looked at mail. I would say action items.
We've got
November.
them. Don't even think
We
of
got it.
anything else.
We got it.
We're all set.
Yeah, if we have any time left over, maybe we can talk about body art or something.
We'll never have any.
To, yeah, catch up on where we are with,
We were in danger tonight of still being here
yeah, I
when
think
the
so.
18th rolled around. Never having left the room, kind of
Oh, I
like
know.
Charlie on the MTA.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yes, we can never leave. Although I never figured out if his wife came to hand him a sandwich every day, why didn't she just give him the nickel to get out? It's a lot. Wasn't it a bit simpler all around?
At the meeting on the 18th also, we just have one meeting in December, correct? We're not changing anything?
That is correct.
And I would just ask, again, everyone to kind of coordinate
Yeah, I have
what
December
we want
16th.
to put in the report for the
Yes. Yeah.
town report, and keep in mind that it is the previous calendar year
Yeah.
when we do this. It's not the fiscal year. It's always confusing to people. We do the report because that'll be handed out
Right.
in the
Yeah.
at
If
town
you could
meeting.
send a reminder to Julie.
Oh, for her part of town report?
Yeah,
Yes.
for her town report,
Yes.
annual report,
Mhm.
you know, thing on the animals.
Yes, I will do that.
Alrighty,
So,
I think we,
I think we've got everything.
I think so.
We might win some prizes to the longest meeting,
Maybe.
if they gave out
There's
prizes.
always next week.
I know.
Or not next week, next
So I
meeting.
think we're all set, I don't think there's anything else. So if that is true, I would make a motion to adjourn this meeting according to the clock on the wall. It is 7:35, so I move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.